The first class of the day was always the toughest. Students shuffled into the lecture hall at Columbia University like shiftless, dead-eyed zombies, their senses dulled by all-night study sessions or hangovers or some combination thereof. They wore sweatpants and yesterday's T-shirts and clutched styrofoam cups of soy mocha lattes or artisanal blonde roasts or whatever it was the kids were drinking these days. Professor Reed Lawson's job was to teach, but he also recognized the need for a morning boost, a mental stimulant to supplement the caffeine. Lawson gave them a moment to find their seats and get comfortable, while he took off his tweed sport coat and draped it over his chair. "Good morning," he said loudly. The announcement jarred several students, who looked up suddenly as if they hadn't realized they'd wandered into a classroom. "Today we're going to talk about pirates." That got some attention. Eyes looked forward, blinking through the slush of sleep deprivation and trying to determine if he had really said pirates or not. "Of the Caribbean?" joked a sophomore in the front row. "Of the Mediterranean, actually," Lawson corrected. He paced slowly with his hands clasped behind his back. "How many of you have taken Professor Truett's class on ancient empires?" About a third of the class raised their hands. "Good. Then you know that the Ottoman Empire was a major world power for, almost 600 years. What you may not know is that the Ottoman corsairs, or more colloquially, the Barbary pirates, stalked the seas for much of that time, from the coast of Portugal through the Strait of Gibraltar and much of the Mediterranean. What do you think they were after? Anyone? I know you're alive out there." "Money?" asked a girl in the third row. "Treasure," said the sophomore from the front. "Rum!" came a shout from a male student in the back of the room, eliciting a chuckle from the class. Reed grinned, too. There was some life in this crowd, after all. "All good guesses," he said. "But the answer is all of the above. See, the Barbary pirates mostly targeted European merchant vessels, and they would take everything, and I mean everything. Shoes, belts, money, hats, goods, the ship itself, and its crew. It's believed that in the 2-century span from 1580 to 1780, the Barbary pirates captured and enslaved more than 2 million people. They would take it all back to their North African kingdom. This went on for centuries. And what do you think the European nations did in return?" "Declared war!" shouted the student in the back. A mousy girl in horn-rimmed glasses raised her hand slightly and asked, "Did they broker a treaty?" "In a way," Lawson replied. "The powers of Europe agreed to pay tribute to the Barbary nations in the form of huge sums of money and goods. I'm talking Portugal, Spain, France, Germany, England, Sweden, the Netherlands. They were all paying the pirates to keep away from their boats. The rich got richer, and the pirates backed off. Mostly. But then, between the late 18th and early 19th centuries, something happened. An event occurred that would be a catalyst to the end of the Barbary pirates. Anyone want to venture a guess?" No one spoke.